A different story, one that I find kind of interesting, and that is there is a new app coming out called Throw Like a Pro. And now, if you've been paying attention to baseball in the past couple of years, you've noticed that there's this surgery. It's called Tommy John surgery. It's where you replace some of the ligaments and repair some of the ligaments in your elbow area. And this is done on a lot of pitchers, and it's not necessarily seen as a death sentence for their career. A lot of pitchers have actually come back and been very good afterwards. But it is something that's been happening. It's a very, severe surgery, and it's been on the rise in the past couple of years. I mean, this was invented in the 70s, I believe, for a player called Tommy John. And it's just been more and more and more people have had to have this. And so two doctors, Dr. James Andrews, which you might know him from operating on RG3's knee. You might know him from operating on Adrian Peterson's knee. You may know him from other surgeries such as, I mean, the list goes on. This guy, if you're a pro player and you've had surgery, Dr. Andrews has probably done it on you. And another doctor, Dr. Kevin Willick, who has done a lot of the rehab for said players. So Dr. Andrews sees him, cuts him up, and Willick kind of just rehabs him up after that. And this app is pretty cool.
Do they always work together for the pro player?
No, that was just it. I'm sure they've worked together plenty of times. That's why they did this, but I don't think they always work together. But this app is going to be developed by a couple developers. I don't know what the development company is, but it will be an Apple app. It's being developed for iOS, and it's really supposed to give parents hints for their younger players. They give you preseason workouts, they give you pre-game workouts, they give you different exercises, warm-up exercises, cool-down exercises, and everything, just to kind of help keep those muscles in the right place for longer. They also talk about mechanics and different mental aspects of pitching. So I'm pretty curious to see if this type of thing will catch on, because it's getting pretty serious. A couple weeks ago, we gave the Chewbacca Chainsaw Award to a guy named Dylan Fosnatch, and he pitched 194 pitches, almost guaranteeing him a Tommy John surgery in a couple of years. So it will be interesting to see if this really takes off. Maybe this helps prevent some of these injuries, which would be cool.
One would hope, but I got to think that at least by the time they get to high school, there's already trainers that know a lot of this stuff, at least know to do the stretches. Like I remember from my sports days, you always start with lots and lots of stretches to prevent any injury, but it still happens. I don't know anyone that's not doing the appropriate stretches, or I don't know, maybe this is better stretches than what we usually do.
Well, I believe these are more specialized stretches. They really target the muscles that would go bad, and I mean it's developed by these doctors, and they're trying to take and it's some of the people who have seen on the inside of the arm, so they're really taking a new approach to it, just to show different ways of helping keep yourself healthy, because it's obvious that they haven't been keeping themselves healthy, and I would say, don't look to a high school. I mean, me and you went to pretty good high schools where they might have a little bit more in the budget for training, and not all schools do. So this is going to be an interesting way, maybe a high school coach will say, hey, download this app, look at it, check it out, or download it themselves and give some hints and tips. I think it's more of a prevention thing that we didn't have before. It's almost like the NFL's campaign to teach kids how to tackle properly so you prevent concussions later. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, they've also been leading the game for stretches as well, and all kinds of things to prevent injuries that are easily avoidable. So I like that too, that they're getting that knowledge out there, using media to get that knowledge out there. I mean, hopefully that's not the only way that it gets out, because there's still obviously it's you need a smartphone, and there's lots of us that have it now, but there's still people out there, especially I would assume people go into those not as great as our high school apparently.
Well, no, I mean, come on. We went to private high schools. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
and we went to sports-centered private high schools. Well, you more than me, but I mean, if they didn't have that in their budget, which I'm sure they probably didn't have all that stuff, you can't expect most high schools to have that.
Yeah, but I guess at least if it's out there, that the stuff is common enough that someone around you will have access to it, and the information is just getting out there. So they'll go to other areas, go to other mediums, hopefully get into the schools, hopefully get into the lower schools, and help prevent these injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta think again, though. I guess there's only so much you can do, because we still see pro players getting these injuries, and you know that these pro players have been getting the correct, at least, advice since at least college. Definitely college, probably earlier.
Yeah, and a lot of this is, working on mechanics. I mean, some of these pros develop mechanics, though, when they're young, that are more detrimental to their arm, their throw-in motion when they get older, because they wear more on the muscles. So it helps, start good habits when you're younger, I think is the best way to put it. So
Get that muscle memory.
Get that muscle memory in you.
Yeah.
And they might have, like a sensor on the app where it's like, put the phone in your pocket, and when you're throwing, we'll tell you if you have good mechanics. Wouldn't it be cool if you had like a redneck voice, be like, "Hey, you ain't doing that right. Don't bid her."
That's what they need. They need to have multiple alternate voices for these instructions.
Throw that right.
Who do you want to be your coaching voice this week?
And in a world where you're throwing the ball wrong, you can do different voices. It'd be cool. Spice it up a little bit. Have a little fun with the app, because that's what apps are supposed to do.
Tell you, that's the wrong way to go.
I am Batman, and you're throwing the ball wrong. Yeah, I can't do a good Batman voice, but yeah. So, I'm just, it's good to start early, and to hopefully it grows while you get older, and then maybe we won't have so many Tom and John surgeries. But that's that. So let's move it on to the next story, and that is...